This is Bob and Friends, not your uncle's podcast. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode, everyone. My name is Zain. Don't ask why, just put an I. And with me this week is Samrah.
Hey.
And Amina. Ow.
Hi.
Ow, I just banged my hand on the table.
Oh, Jesus.
Ouch. Ouchie. Ouchie. How's life? How's life, guys? How's everything?
Well, we just had Eid, so Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Eid Mubarak, everyone.
Zain and I hung out this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Amina was in the Cape.
Yeah, I was at Cape Cod. I had a great time. I saw the ocean. I had a great day. My last day was my favorite day.
If you guys are wondering why we're talking like this, it's because this is our second time recording.
So this whole spiel has been said. But if you guys want to
so
hear
the flow isn't the same.
The flow is definitely... You're like, I went to the Cape. It was great. We went to the beach. It was great.
The water was blue. I saw no sharks, no seals. No. I went to this mini golf place. It was amazing. It was really cool. Pirates
And the ice cream
Cove.
was great.
Sunday school, best ice cream in Cape Cod. I had a Sunday because I thought, hey, why not just do the, what's famous?
Yeah, of course.
It was all right.
It wasn't great.
It was good. The ice cream was good, and the whipped cream was really good. It was like homemade, but they put a real cherry on top. They put like
You're not a fan
real
of cherry?
one, not like a maraschino. They put and I'm allergic to real cherry, so I was like, my favorite part is the maraschino cherry. So I was a little upset about that.
Well, the real question is, what flavor of ice cream did you get?
Oreo coffee.
Very good.
And hot
good
fudge
choice.
was homemade too, and I was good.
Good
hot fudge.
choice.
That's like
good choice.
It was good, and I got a small one, which is nice that they have small ones. For people who can't have like a big sundae, I had a mini sundae.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nice, and it was like outside, and the weather was really nice, so it was great.
I had a sundae on Sunday.
Oh,
I don't know if I said that the first time, the first spiel that we did,
Excuse me.
the first recording.
No, you did not.
No, yeah, I had a sundae on Sunday. It was pretty cool, very cool. It was I had coffee. No, not coffee. I had a triple chocolate chunk, and do you guys know Biscoff biscuits?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was Biscoff flavored ice cream. So it's
I don't know
like basically
how I feel about that.
it's like cookie butter. Like that's what it was described
I love
as.
cookie butter. Isn't Biscoff cookie butter? Like doesn't Biscoff make cookie butter?
Yes. See.
So that's a good flavor. I'm gonna let you all know that right now. You haven't had
I don't know how I
it.
feel.
It's the fattiest thing on the planet, but it's so good.
Ooh, it was so good. That
People,
Biscoff and that combo.
It's very rich though. Like I can't have I know people who could have like a spoonful of cookie butter. I don't think I could just like eat cookie butter like that because it's just so sweet. But it's good. Like a little bit of it.
I do agree. It was very sweet. Like my flavors, it was very, very sweet. Like but it was good that I had the chocolate with it because it kind of had that the slight bitter like chocolate eat. Yeah. So it kind of balanced it out. But yeah, I do agree. It was very sweet, but very, very good. So
a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Pretty much.
Yeah. yeah. Anywho, this week we're doing another Bollywood breakdown.
You need me to sing the song?
That's your cue, Samrah.
Bollywood breakdown.
I guess she just doesn't enunciate Bollywood at all. She's like, Bollywood.
I like how it's
sounds
like defaults to.
Bollywood.
I like how she defaults to the like what's that guy from South Park?
Cartman.
Oh God, the Cartman voice. Just Bollywood.
It's necessary.
It's all good though. I like it.
Guys, once I sing the song, then we have to go straight to the Bollywood breakdown. It doesn't work like that. Let me do it again.
Dude, okay.
Bollywood.
She had to get ready
Bollywood
for it.
Breakdown.
She had to like put herself in the right mindset. She took a minute for herself. She was like,
I did.
Bollywood.
I needed to do it again. Now I have to do it again.
Okay. Last
Tip
time.
of the tongue, teeth, and lips.
Oh, School of Rock. We did School of Rock breakdown. Okay, Samrah, go.
Hey.
Bollywood. Bollywood. Bollywood Breakdown. Okay.
So this week we're doing.
Yes, Amina, what are we doing this week?
Oh, it's gonna have someone else say it.
Oh,
This week we're doing America, aka Pardes.
Yeah.
but it is.
So this movie, I said this before in the last recording, so we're just gonna do this again. Movie of our childhood. We watched it a lot. Came out in 1997 to celebrate 50 years of independence for India. And I guess Pakistan, but not for Pakistan.
It's not really about Pakistan though.
No, there's Pakistan. I don't even think is mentioned once in the entire film. So there's that. So it stars our favorite Shahrukh Khan and introducing Mahima Chaudhry, and she won Filmfare Best Actress debut for this film, so you know it's a good one. We have our fave Amrish Puri,
My boy.
Alok Nath, and
Another boy.
another boy. And then what's his name? I can't do it again. Apurva
Ooh.
Allah.
Oof.
It's Apurva Agnihotri.
That was good. I think that was good enough.
So, Shahrukh Khan stars as Arjun in this film. Mahima Chaudhry stars as Ganga, as in Ganga Nala, as in Pavitra, as in the Ganges River.
As in Pavitra.
I thought you were going to say as in Ganda. I was like, oh.
No, very
As a
river people. Hindus.
Ganda.
And then
Ganda.
Apurva, I'm not gonna say his last name again. Stars as Rajiv. And Amrish Puri is Kishori Lal.
Kishori Lal.
And Alok Nath is Suraj. And if
Suraj
anyone needs
Dev.
help, I'll probably refer to everyone by their other names at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pardes.
Well, I do want to say something because this is we didn't have it in the first recording, but I'm going to say it this time, right?
Okay.
Is that we had a little argument before we started this recording about who was going to do this film, and clearly there was a lot of miscommunication because this technically was supposed to be for my movie, and I was supposed to write these notes.
Can I just say something really quick? You said there was clearly a lot of miscommunication, but you knew you had to watch the movie, so there couldn't have been any miscommunication about that.
I knew I had to watch a movie. I didn't realize it was going to be this movie.
Even though we said it like 3 times, so.
Hey,
That's
well,
fine.
hey. Listen, I thought I was gonna look. You know what? I'm not even gonna defend myself. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna defend myself.
You don't have to at this point. I've already watched the movie and taken extensive notes on it.
Extensive. How many pages of notes, Amna?
I go to page 6. So
Oof.
it's not
Oof.
fully page 6 though. It's like 5.5 pages, and I write big, so it's not like tiny little notes. It's for my own, like, I need it so I know what parts come when. I wrote down the songs, all of them this time.
Hey.
And some funny like things that I've noticed since I've rewatched the film. I've seen it so many times that I feel like I've noticed all of these things, but some things we'll talk about it.
Yeah. This is actually one of the movies that I've only seen this maybe a couple times. So like last time we did this, Behuna, I've seen it many times. This movie, I've literally only seen it twice. Once with you, Samrah, and then remember. Okay, well, this is gonna be. You remember your room, Samrah? You had that TV with the VCR. That's when I remember watching it. It was then, so this was way back. And then I remember maybe watching it in your bonus room, and that's pretty much it. That's all I remember. So I don't remember anything. The only thing I know from the movie is that song, the famous song, but that's it.
What song?
The Mere Mehbooba.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Meri mehbooba.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay, so
Yes.
The movie opens.
Yep.
Clips of America.
America.
But not with that song. It opens with a very intense song, and I made a note of that because I was like, this is already setting the tone for this entire film.
Oh,
It's like
what
showing
song is
America, bum, 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 bum. And you're like, okay, so I guess this is not good. And then they go to India, and they introduce Mahima Chaudhry, and she's looking in a mirror, and she's like smiling at how beautiful she is. And you hear,
Can I interject?
yeah.
Whatever happened to Mahima Chaudhry after this movie? Because I felt like after this movie, she really didn't have anything going for her. Is that
She
true?
pretty much didn't.
She had some
she
movies,
had more
most of her
movies,
failed.
but yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, she was great in this movie. So you would assume, and clearly she was good enough to get a best debut, actress debut, you know.
Right.
But it's like, how come you don't hear her in any other movie besides
The
this
only other
one?
movie
Like,
that she,
what happened?
She made some notable appearances, but bigger. She was in Laja as like a side character, and then she was in Baghban. She was Salman's wife in Baghban.
I mean, there were a
like-
few things.
She was in
But nothing to this caliber, right? Nothing to the point where she was
I don't
like
think-
for sure.
Yeah.
her. Oh, okay, cool, interesting. Her first movie was her biggest film. Interesting.
Well, it's like Amrish Puri, right? Kahona Pyar Hai was definitely her biggest film.
Okay, we're veering off topic. Time to go back to America.
Okay,
America.
So, all right,
We've
they introduce
been
Mahima
to
Chaudhry.
Mahima.
You hear like all of a sudden you go to India and the music is calm again. It's like what's that? It's like nah, I don't know. I can't do it. I had it in my head and I lost it. But it's like oh no, can I do it?
Do it.
I can't. It's gonna be really off. It's like Ganga. I can't do it. Anyway, it's like river music. And then you see like pictures of the garage, Arjun's garage, and the mannequin. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so then you hear the voiceover from Amrish Puri. Okay, Kishore Lal, and he's this rich businessman. He's an NRI, which I have no clue what an NRI is.
It means
okay?
not really Indian.
Interesting. Will be NRI. Is it really not really Indian?
I'm pretty sure it means something like that.
Okay, so I looked it up on like the first thing that pops up on Google says non-resident Indian.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is. Non-resident.
Okay, so that's not his job, okay? But they keep calling him an NRI, which I was like, is he like a business person?
No,
So
that
I
just
was
means
off.
he's like not like he doesn't live in India, and he's
Okay, well,
an
I didn't know
NRI.
that, okay? Because I didn't understand. But sure. So he's like this rich dude, and he's like taking his white business partners to the Taj Mahal, and he like is like, I live in America, but nothing is like my motherland and my Hindustan and this that. And he's talking to his white coworkers in front of Taj Mahal. He's like, the difference between love and America is that you give and take. In India, it's just give, give. And all the white people are like, unbelievable.
Mind you,
Oh my God,
can I just say one thing to get you guys to understand? Back in the day when they used to dub like white people, or I should say Americans, outside of the movie, it was
They
a
weren't
desi
foreigners.
person. Yeah, it was a foreigner doing it. So the Americans still had quite a thick accent.
It was like a European, like a Swedish accent. It's very odd. But
Yes.
anyway.
They always defaulted to that Swedish accent. Like,
It was like you're not
I don't
really
know why.
from America, but okay.
So he's like, unbelievable. And then you see Suraj come in. And this Suraj and Kishore Lal were BFFs years and years ago back in India, right? But he moved on to America, and Suraj stayed back and opened up a farm in the Keton.
And Kittle is like
The
crops.
fields.
The field.
the farm fields.
So he's like, hey, you're back. And he's like, yeah, I am. And I'm going to stay with you for a couple of days, Kishore Lal. So they drive through the fields and the green fields of India. And he comes to this home. And he's like, oh, so modest and humble. And he lives on a farm, but like this like really big, pretty farmhouse. But whatever.
One question, Amrish Puri, right? He obviously was born in the Deus, and then he went to
born
America, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, how
America made a business for himself, right?
Like how America, it's America.
America. I thought it was fun because I did watch the first few minutes of this movie recently. Like, I thought it was a little too much to how much he was like, my motherland is so good. It was like every 5 seconds he was just like, America sucks.
Point, right? Is that he's like, I feel like I failed because I love my country and I don't live here. And none of my kids or my family have this sanskar in them. And it's like, yeah, you did fail because your kid sucks. But that's a spoiler, I guess.
Damn.
Anyway, his whole family sucks.
Anyway.
But that's, again, veering off.
There's no point to your tears. Okay.
Oh my god, I have that line in my notes.
It's a necessity. A necessity.
Yeah, it is. So, he comes to the Keto and he's talking about it, and Suraj is like, you're so rich. You're definitely the richest person who's ever left India. And you're like, okay. And then they come out of the car, and he's like, this is my home. And then then you hear, Papa, Papa, Papa.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Mahima Chaudhry, it's Ganga, running through the Keto to her dad. And she's uber bubbly and excited and beautiful, and she goes up to him, and she knows that this man is visiting from America, and she's like, I know everything about you. You're this person. You're this. And the guy is obviously like, wow, she's so beautiful, and she's so sweet, and everything. And then they get to the house, and everyone's a mess. Remember, like, no one's ready for him.
Oh, yeah.
The one lady's, like, putting on haldi on her face and doesn't have her dupatta, and she's like, oh, no. He's seeing me without my dupatta. And the dadima has gobar on her hands, which is basically shit on her hands. Yeah, so that's the opening scene.
Because the whole idea was that he was going to show up later in the day or something, and like they were going to have it more
the next day, right? And so no one was ready for him. And Suraj, he's kind of a shit. He's probably my least favorite character in the whole film. Her dad. He doesn't like tell anyone, okay? And so she introduces everyone, Ganga, and she introduces the kids, and she's like, she says all their names. I have no clue what their names are. I'm not gonna like that. It's not important, okay? But then she goes, Sim Sim Pola Pola Sim Sim Pola, and I don't know what the hell that is.
What? Did they really say that?
Yes. And anyway, why does she refer to these group of children as Sim Sim Pola Pola Sim? Is that their group name?
Are they
like the Partridges and that's like their band name?
No, that's their band name. That's totally their band name. It's like when you guys used to go to Pakistan and you guys would be Team America. They're Team Sim Sim Pola Pola Sim Sim Pola.
What? It sounds so out of place. It doesn't sound like
really
it's part of the movie at all.
But anyway, so she introduces the Sim Sim Pola Polas, okay? Cut scene. All of a sudden you see a man lifting weights and he goes, Dad, it's bad. And you're introduced.
I love the alliteration right there.
Dad is bad. So you're introduced to Amir Chand, Gharib Chand, and I don't remember the wife's name. But I definitely recorded Amir Chand and Gharib Chand because of what names are that? It's ridiculous. Amir and Gharib. And the son Manu. And he's like...
Amir means rich, or we should probably clarify. Amir means rich, so rich, whatever the guy's name was.
I don't know.
Jung. And then Gharib means yeah, and Gharib means poor, so rich and poor.
Yeah, one brother is rich, one brother is poor.
Right, and the son is Mandu, and all he does is lift weights and goes, Dad, it's bad. He's also a rich NRI, which again, I was like, what the hell is an NRI? But now it makes sense. They're from Sri Lanka, though, so it's not as good as America, obviously. And they're pissed because they're like, look at this Kishori Lal coming in and getting all the special treatment. We don't get any special treatment. And they're like, hopefully they ain't going to try and take Ganga's hand in marriage because we want Ganga for ourselves. And I'm kind of like, what does Ganga offer here other than her looks?
Nothing.
To the table. that people want her so bad. Obviously, she's really sweet,
So
but
far,
that's not what they want, you know?
I mean, so far, all we've seen her is be bubbly and like a little know-it-all. So it's like, like, what do you bring to the table?
That's what she's been shown as, is overexcited.
Like a little too excited.
Yeah.
She brings nothing to the table other than being a sweet girl.
She has a BA in English, I think, so she's somewhat educated.
How old is she supposed to be in the movie? Do you know?
Probably like 20.
Back in the day, they were all like 19, 20, even though they looked like 50.
She looked like she was 24.
Yeah. No, she looked like she was like 30.
She did not look like she was 30.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh. Anyways.
Let's do an even 27.
Fine.
Okay. She doesn't look like she's in her 30s. She definitely looks like she's in her 20s.
She was 24 when the movie was filmed.
Yeah.
So
okay, so she's young.
Yeah.
She looks young. She's a little chub too. For the actresses, like for comparing to now's actresses, like present day, she's chubbier, but she's not chubby.
It's not in that sense. It's just like she's just average.
A normal
like just
person, is what I'm trying.
She wasn't a model figure. It was just she's average.
Right.
She's
very pretty.
like what's the girl next door type thing, right? Is that what it's called? The girl next door.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but she's obviously extra beautiful because there'd be a reason why everyone sees her and thinks she's beautiful, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, they're trying to get married to Ganga. I wrote that Buaji is MVP. Remember the Buaji? The old lady?
The old lady? Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely the MVP. I'm going to point this out now. She's the MVP of this entire film.
Yes, she is.
Player.
Yes.
Okay? And
I know why.
Because she literally comes in clutch, okay? Alright. So, Kishore Lal comes in, and he sees everyone, and he's like, he's in the keto with Suraj. That sounds so gross. But he's like, I really want... Oh, the song comes up. There's a song. Did I miss the song?
Yeah, I love my India. Ye mera India.
Sim pola. Because the kids are trying to impress Kishore Lal. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why they sing that song, and it's I love my India. And then
Ye mera India.
Sim pola pola sim pola. Sim pola pola sim pola. Fine flat flute pipe petola. Drum duplex simbola. Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Keynote keyboard. Imitations. Minor note, major note. Modulations.
Kishore Lal is like, look, I want your daughter for my son, Rajiv. And Rajiv has never been to India. And a Pardesi man needs a Desi beau in his house because I feel like a failure. And unless I get Ganga in my house, I'm a failure. And you can already tell that, like, something's not right. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, from there, you're like, I don't know.
So it's a lot to ask for. All of a sudden, you just showed up to the guy's house, and you're always
Ganga, you know, to like bring that to his whole family. So already not starting on the best note. Oh, I also wanted to go back to that song because I had a note that was like, you know, like how it starts with, it's like Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
I don't remember this song.
It starts out like Hare Rama, Hare, and I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, why are they doing it in that accent? But whatever. So going back,
but whatever.
No one's into this marriage proposal. Okay, the mom's not into it. The Buaji is not into it. The Dadiji is not into it. They're like, do you want to make her a Valaiti or something? But Suraj, he's like way overexcited about it.
Because then his daughter goes to America. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's very eager beaver. And he's like, they're rich. We can't do that. And he's like, I don't care what any of you say. It's going to happen. Okay? And then the next scene, she knows this is happening now. Mahima Chaudhry's like, oh, okay, my Rishta's out there. This is going to happen. And they're like, oh, the kids come in. All the Simpolas come in. And they're like... And they're like, "Oh, but Didi, we have two pictures in our hands, and one of them is of your prince, and the other is of a friend of the prince, but we don't know who is who. So you tell me which one you wish is the one," which is already setting up her up for failure. Because what if she picked the one and that wasn't the right one, and she's like disappointed? But whatever, that's beyond this. And so one picture is of Shahrukh Khan, Arjun, and the other is of Rajiv, and he's supposed to be really good looking. Uh, Spoiler: he's not. Okay,
But he's supposed to be
he's
better
not
looking than
that good
Shahrukh.
looking. You think?
He's supposed to be, which is why she picks him.
Right. She's like, ooh, when she sees him, even though he's wearing a pure white suit and a fedora in the picture.
Milady.
There's
He's straight up milady.
the outfit he's in the fedora. It's like a straw fedora, too.
Oh my god.
With his middle part 90s hair. It's terrible. And she picks him and she's like, ooh la la, that's the one I want. And you could tell it's like he's a douchebag. It's like a douche alert right away. It's like if you see a guy in a fedora, right away you should be like, he's gonna be a douchebag. But all right, so she picks him. She's excited. Meanwhile, Kishore Lal goes back to America. No one is happy. No one. No one in the family. They're like, "What have you done? Our kids are Western. You know, they're from America. Why are you bringing an Indian beau into this घर? Why are you bringing an Indian daughter-in-law into this house?"
Yeah.
Right. And the only one who's happy is the mom, Maji, whatever her name is.
She's also like
mother,
older. Like
yeah, and she's like a wheelchair bound, has no power whatsoever. Like power of say, I mean.
yeah.
Anyway, she's the only one that's like, that's good, but like, are you sure that Raji? She's more concerned that this girl doesn't understand what she's getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's already another bad sign that she's like, are you sure she should be here? But whatever. No one heeds the signs in this movie. So Kishore Lal is like, I have a plan. I'm gonna get Arjun to help me. Who's Arjun, you say? Cuts to a recording studio, and he's singing a song, and you don't know it yet, but it's a song in a movie, and it's like, I think it's Meri Mehbooba.
Yeah,
that
it is.
song.
Oh, so it's a famous song.
Yeah, he's like big because he wrote I Love My India. He wrote that song. And so it's like he's like topping the Asian charts in the United States, I guess. I don't know. But
No, that would never happen. But okay.
Yeah, I get it. So like, he's doing an interview, and he basically in the interview he's doing with this like magazine. I don't know. He comes off as like the nicest, most humble guy. He was an orphan, and like came to America and worked as an engineer, a mechanic. And Kishore Lal takes him in and makes him work in his garage, and now he runs the garage. And he basically is indebted to him. He's my father. He's my Dev. He's my god.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, you already know this is not good. The best is like he gave me studio space, and then you see them practicing dancing. And it's the most ridiculous thing
I know.
I've ever
Like,
seen.
I know. Anyways, who am I to say anything? Judge, you know.
I can judge because it was ridiculous. So
I can dance better than that.
Then you have Rajiv call. He calls Arjun. He's like, "Oh, Dad got me a proposal, blah 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 blah, and I have to see you right away. I can't do this, okay?" My question, right away off the bat: he's born and raised in America. Okay, why the hell does he have the biggest fob accent on the planet?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Okay, he speaks Hindi, and also at one point he's like, "My girlfriend learned Hindi for me," and I'm like, if you born and raised in America, why the hell is she learning Hindi for you?
Like
okay,
Kelly, it's Kelly.
It's Kelly, yeah. That comes in later, but yeah. So he's just the biggest fob on the planet, okay, and he's just why? Okay, I don't understand. Why couldn't they have said he was raised in India but then came to America? I don't know.
Continuity error, you know.
It just doesn't make any sense. So then Kishore Lal is tasking Arjun with the task. I'm repetitive. I'm sorry. To take Rajiv to India and to get him to fall for Ganga, to get him to agree. Okay, so Arjun's like, I'll do anything for you, and then you get introduced to Paul, who I also think is an MVP in this movie. Paul is their friend, and Paul is, I guess, American, but not. He's Indian.
No, he's American. Like just like Rajiv. So they're showing him as also like Rajiv's friend, born and raised in America, but Paul, like he's never been. Paul. Yeah, but so he could be Christian Indian or something.
I guess.
You have to say it that way too. Paul.
Well, that's how they say his name.
Paul. And but he does say, but we are good Indians at one point. So
yeah, because he is Indian.
Okay, sure, I guess.
Anyways.
Sure.
I really like Paul, okay? I just want his character to make sense to me. Then there's like, how are we getting there? And there's this huge advertisement for Air India in this film, okay? It's like glaring. They're like, how are we getting there? I booked Air India. Why Air India? Because Air India is this. And it just shows Air India's logo on the plane. I'm like, great. Did Air India put any money in this? They clearly
sponsored some portion of the movie.
Right. Also, I want to make this point. So they show Ganga, and she's like doing prayer, and then there's this river singer, and the river singer is like, Ganga, tu Pardes na ja. And I'm like, is that not the biggest red flag on the planet? Or some rando, like,
it's like telling you not to go to Pardes.
Pardes na ja, khatara hai.
Wait, who says this?
You don't even see the dude's face. It's like some random boat.
Some rando just.
She's like praying, and he's on the Ganga on a boat, and then he's singing on the Ganga, and so you're like, oh, he's singing about the Ganga on the Ganga, and then he goes straight to Ganga herself. It's like, Pardes mat jao.
Basically meaning, Pardes, by the way, guys, means like outside of, Des is land. Yeah. So Des means land. So Pardes means it's foreign. Like you're going to a foreign country. You're going to, we've become a foreigner because we're not in our actual land anymore. So that's Pardes.
Right. So he's saying the song that he's singing randomly on a boat is like, Ganga, don't go to this foreign land. There's danger. And you're
some random.
So that's nice. And that's like as they're on their way. Anyway.
That tea is overflowing there. What's going on?
You probably go check on that.
Yeah, my tea kettle is not too happy right now. It's okay. Always watching the tea kettle. My tea kettle usually gets like this at night.
And then the song, there's a song.
I love how
and the song is, Samrah, do you know this song?
Sim Sim Pola?
No, it's not Sim Sim Pola.
What?
Oh my god!
My mic fell. And it fell on me. The song is
I don't remember it.
You know that song?
No, I don't remember.
It's like,
sing it out, Samrah. No, you gotta do it.
I'm singing it terribly wrong, but those are the lyrics. Obviously, it wasn't a memorable song.
Clearly no.
I wrote it so I could signal myself what the song sounds like, and I can't do it. So
Yeah. Clearly, it was one of those flop songs that no one
And half
no one
the song
cared.
is her running through the keto. So there's that. So
Yeah.
right away,
What does Keto mean exactly
Kate
again?
means,
It means
like
Field.
fields.
Field.
the fields.
In
Yes,
the
yes, yes,
field.
yes, yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
So she's like running through all the fields. Okay. Then she gets back to the house. She's all excited, and then she sees Arjun. Okay. She sees him first. He doesn't see her, and he is coming off as a big dick right away because he's like, oh, Rajiv won't like this. Get the bahis out. Get the servants out. Get this out. There should be no mud. Should be nothing. He hates this. He hates that. And everyone's like, what? Like, the adults are like, okay, we'll do it. But, like, all the kids are like, who's this little piece of shiz coming in here? And so, he says that line, agar badbu aa gayi to he will go bananas.
Oh my god.
God, I love classic writing. That writing is
He will go
amazing.
bananas. You could just imagine Shahrukh Khan saying that.
I can. That's why I'm like, oh my god.
So all the kids are like, F this dude, and they trick him, and so they make the sister, which I feel bad for. They like put like a til on her and glasses, and they're like, you're the ugly one. And they're like, that's Ganga. And he's like, oh, she's ugly. Why are they trying to get Rajiv married to her? But that's obviously not Ganga, and that's so insulting to the sister.
But I don't think they really. I mean, that's not really what she looked like. They made her look like that.
They literally just put glasses and a til on her.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's really effed up if that's all she needs to be ugly.
Yeah,
My point.
you right.
Anyway, and they put
What a
like, bright pink
shallow-
lipstick on her. Maybe that's also. So he's like, oh god, and he like tries to call, and then he doesn't know what to do, and then all of a sudden they get a phone call from Kishori Lal, and then the dad's like, oh Ganga, and Shahrukh Khan's like, oh god, she's gonna come back. And then Ganga comes down the stairs. And coincidentally, she's holding like a bunch of flowers in her hands, just randomly. So that when she's talking on the phone and Arjun sees her for the first time, her face is beautifully framed with like pink flowers.
Around her face.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, great. That's obvious. I should always do that myself, so then I always look gorgeous with pink flowers around my face.
Always carry around
Yeah,
flowers, Amna.
obviously that's what I have to do.
I mean, obviously.
So then, yeah, she doesn't like Arjun, but he apologizes, and she accepts the apology. But she's like, hey, we're becoming friends, though. Farm's going back to normal. And she says, and he's like, wait, what are you doing? Why are all the cows and everything coming back? And she's like, in this house, every rishta is beautiful between human and insan, between owner of the house and servants. And it shows her character, you know, that she's a strong-willed person, and he respects it.
Yes.
And then Rajiv arrives in a cow tow truck because his car like broke down, and he like arrives in this like cow bodunk tow truck, and he's sneezing and sick, and everyone's like surrounding him, and like Arjun's like, oh damn it, like no one's giving him space. And then right away the next day they hold this huge party for him where he meets like the entire village. And remember the I don't know if you remember the scene, but like she's like getting ready to go
Yep.
downstairs, and she's like all dressed up, and Arjun's like, no, this is terrible. She looks like a bundar. She looks like a monkey, and like takes off all of her jewelry, and he's like, he likes, in America they like sidi sadi. And I'm like okay.
Simplicity.
Right. So
Is that true though? Is that true though?
I don't
they
think
make
so.
a lot of generalizations about America in this film. It
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah, they do.
We're gonna go into it though. We're gonna go into it.
A lot of stereotypes are being thrown around
Yeah.
here.
A lot about America, especially because as American borns, we are nothing like this kid. But whatever. So, the best part is when Paul. This is a side scene, but I thought I should mention it. Like the servant is going to Paul because Paul came with them for some reason. He's like, "Ooh, India, I want to go." So whatever, and they're like, he's like, how do you say chair again? Oh my god,
Kursi?
It's a kursi. And the
Kursi.
guy's like, he doesn't understand Paul, And so the brother is like, oh, he's offering you a chair. And the dude's like, no thanks. And then he says it to the servant. He's like, he's from America. You have to say chair. And the guy goes, Parmesan. He just under his breath, he's like, Parmesan. And then Paul goes, thank you. That was a great scene. Maybe
Bottomajao
outta
means
here.
like just get out of here, like scram.
Anyway, Rajiv sees Ganga and is into it, right? He right away is like, ooh. And then he seems nice. There's like that chai scene
Yep.
where he seems like he's kind of charming.
Mm-hmm.
Where he like asks her to put the entire thing of chai, of sugar in his chai, then gives it to Paul and takes the other one. And you're like, oh, look at him. But he's a little dick.
Yep. Not a little one.
Big dick.
A little dick.
And then, so Arjun arranges, so that ends, and Arjun arranges for Ganga to bring milk to him. And she walks into the room, and there's a snake on the bed, on Rajiv's bed. It's a cobra, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's like scared. And then
So random,
it's like, he's
but okay.
trying to get them to like have alone time, Arjun. And so he goes, and you see this, the dude, Rajiv, is like videotaping, and then he turns to his bed and sees a giant cobra on his bed, and he's like, what the hell? And then she comes in with the dude, and she's like, oh. She puts the dude down, and she just goes and prays to it, and the snake goes away.
Yeah, the snake just crawls away.
What?
Slithers away.
It literally just like sees that.
What
it's
logic does that
his
mean?
feet, and it's like, good, my daughter, and then like leaves and slithers away, and then
I'm about to choke on my Reese's Pieces.
and then she's like, Hindustan mein सांप जानवर को नहीं मानते. They've, I don't know. She's like, we don't see snakes as animals. We see them as gods. He won't bother you again.
Oh.
And then walks out of the room. And the guy goes, amazing.
The guy all of a sudden thinks she's like badass.
He's like, oh, amazing. Literally says that.
Oh.
And then he's like into it, right, Rajiv? And so he meets her on like the roof, and he's like, hey, I want to like meet you one-on-one. We should meet in the keto mein. He basically saying we should go and meet in the fields, but he doesn't realize that when you say stuff like that, that's like an innuendo almost in India. Like, oh, we're gonna go in the keto. It means like fooling around.
Yes.
Right. So he doesn't understand. He genuinely is like, we should go meet out in the fields. And so she goes, and she's innocent, and she doesn't understand it either. So she goes to her buaji, and she's like, Buaji, can I go with him to the keto? And she like has a fit, and he's like, makes like a whole big deal about it. So Arjun sees this and is like, all right, let me make this a plan, okay? So he makes this whole plan to get them to like be together. Like, they go all on a picnic, and then they'll separate, and they can like talk separately together on the picnic. And meanwhile, she finds cigarettes. And this is important. No, it's important because she finds cigarettes, and they're Rajiv's cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to Arjun and she goes, hey, you told me he didn't do any of this stuff. Why did I find this? And Arjun lies to her, and he says, no, those are mine. Rajiv doesn't drink or smoke at all. He's a really good guy. So he's lying to her about Rajiv's personality completely. She has no clue what this guy is really like.
Right.
Okay? And then the song comes up. Do dil mil rahe
Magar chupke
Oh,
sabko ho rahi hai.
it's a good song.
Ho sabko ho rahi hai.
My God.
Chupke.
So they're just like, it's just a song montage of like her and Rajiv
Like falling in love.
falling in love with each other, but it's like fake. It's not real, you guys. It's not real, and I want to make that clear.
Well, wait, what's not real?
that their love isn't real.
Well, it is. Well, for her, she thinks it is but she's being lied to. She doesn't realize that it's not.
No, but the thing is I don't even know. But Rajiv is not falling in love with her either, though. He's in lust with her.
Yes.
Right. So
He wants to fool around in the kettle.
Yeah.
That's why.
Exactly. It's gross.
Yeah.
So then Kishore comes
Yeah.
back to India, and he's like, "Listen, we want to take. I want. Rajiv is like, yes, I'll marry Ganga, but before I marry her, I want her to come to America for, first, so that she sees how I live. And it's not wrong because that's where she's gonna be moving to, so I get it. But like his intentions aren't pure here, obviously. And Kishore Lal was like, "Oh, great idea," and the family's against it. They're like, "She's not, married yet, and you can't send her." Blah blah blah. And Suraj is like, "Why? Who cares?" Because he's extra. And Kishore Lal overhears it and is like, "Why don't we get them engaged? And then in a month after she moves there, we'll give it a month, and then we'll get her married." And they're like, "Okay, fine." And then the Buaji goes with them while this happens. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So they like do the engagement, whatever. They're at the airport. Ganga finds out that Arjun isn't coming back with them. He's staying in India for a bit, and she's pissed off. She's like, "What the hell? You didn't tell me. Like, we were supposed to do this together." And he's like, "Look, I got shit to do." So she's like upset, but like, it's fine. Then they fly to America, and this is the best song of the damn film.
America, America,
Fascinating America.
America.
It's like in English. I have no clue what the song. I know the lyrics of the other songs more than I know the lyrics of this song, and it's in English.
There's a fascination of things to come. Can't slow down now, can't be done. I feel a sense of freedom all above. I know this is where I'll find love.
It's like, oh, it's so fascinating. That's literally it.
America.
So then they get to America, and there's this giant party for her. Okay. And all the aunties are there, and they're so extra and like so westernized, and they're like, "Oh, don't call me Benji. My name is Padma, but you can call me Patty." Literally. The only one who's nice is the Maji, and she's like in the wheelchair. And then they show Rajiv on the dance floor. Oh my god. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. The dancing he's doing in this movie. Samrah, do you remember?
Oh my god, how can I forget?
He's
I
like,
do I
asking her
do
to
that
come
just
dance
for
with
fun.
him. And like, if I was her, I'd be like, I want to break this engagement off right now after seeing
Just
this.
because of the way you dance.
Because how could I ever be attracted to you in any capacity after seeing you dance? Like, I can't. So he looks. I can't even. I don't know how to describe it. We gotta post something about it because it's terrible.
I wish this podcast was a video form. So
I
you
know,
can, like, dance
that'd
it
been
out.
great. So then she's like meeting new people at the party, and one of the dudes gives her a kiss on the cheek, and the Buaji goes bananas, and she punches the crap out of that dude, and all the aunties are like, "Oh my god," and it's like embarrassing. And
Yeah, and Ganga starts crying.
no, and Ganga over here is one of the mean aunties. Her name is
Oh yeah.
Neetu, whatever, auntie, and she's like, I don't know, gobar leke aaye.
Yeah.
Basically saying they brought over shit
Yeah.
and calling them shit, and she starts crying. It's very sad. And then all of a sudden it cuts to a different scene, and they're at like the speech. I did not understand this scene. Why is this speech happening? It's like a completely different party.
But what is the
I
speech
don't know.
about?
It's like in honor of
Yeah.
something.
Wait,
I don't know.
it was and
Okay.
I thought it was in honor of Ganga coming.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like a very professional, but sure. So then they're like, Ganga, sing a song that reminds you of this days and coming to a Pardes. And so she sings, जिस देश में मेरा पिया उस देश मेरा जिया. That's not how it goes at all. I cannot remember this song either for the life of me.
जिस देश
There's a lot.
में मेरा पिया
That's it. That's exactly it.
उस देश में मेरा जिया
And then Arjun comes.
कितना मुश्किल है.
She knows it.
Okay.
परदेस आना परदेस आना
Right? And she stops singing, runs to him in the middle of the song, and everyone's watching, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" And he's embarrassed. He's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just so happy you're here." And he's like, "Not the time, not the place." And he's like, "Go back and sing." And she's like, "Sing with me. Let's sing that song." And he's like, "No, you do it." She's like, "Okay." And then she goes back and she sings, "Ye Mera India." She sings that. So then Rajiv is like, they're back at the place and there's like a picture of them in the newspaper, and he's like already getting a little touchy with her, and you're like, and he's like, "Ooh, can I have a kiss?" And she's like, "No," and it's like giggly but like uncomfortable. You're like, ugh. And then the buaji comes in with parathe, and so it like breaks the moment up. I don't
Exactly.
know. Okay. And so one of the aunts come in, and she asks about Arjun, and she's like, "Oh, so like, does Arjun live here?" And the aunt is like, "No, like, he's a servant. Why would the servant live in the house?" And like, she's surprised. Ganga's surprised, like, "Oh, I didn't know he was like considered like that." And she's like, "Yeah, he lives in the servant quarters. And if he came here and we fed him, we'd fed him like a poor person. Like, we feed him as charity." So Ganga's like, "Oh, okay," and she sends
Damn.
parathe to Arjun, but she sends it in the same newspaper that is like their pictures in it.
Oh, yep, I remember this.
Yeah.
And then Rajiv finds out and is like, that the newspaper is gone. He's like, "Where the hell is it?" And he starts yelling at her, and then you're like, red flag, red flag. And she's like, I accidentally sent it with the parathe. And he's like, and then he says, "You typical Indian idiot." And what? What? Is that not a red flag? Is that
What does
not
that
like, and she goes, she says, "Rajiv, ek baar keh diya, phir mat," like she says, "Phir mat keh," like whatever. She's like, "You said it once, don't ever say it again."
She goes, "Rajiv, आज कह दिया, आइंदा मत कहना."
Yeah. And so she sticks up for herself, but like, he called you a typical Indian idiot. If someone was like, "Amina, you're a typical Pakistani idiot," I'm like, and guess what? You're single. Bye.
Somebody
Drop
called
the
me.
ring.
Somebody called me a typical idiot Indian or Pakistani, whatever. I wouldn't even drop the ring, Amna. You would first of all leave and take the ring with you, cash it
Then
in.
sell it. Yeah. Hell yeah. Be like, "Oh, guess
Who's
what?
the idiot
500
now?"
million? I wish we signed. Oh, like, we didn't sign a prenup. I'm gonna sue you. I can't do that. But the point is, maybe I would marry him and then divorce him for half his money. But I ain't saying I'm a gold digger.
But she ain't messing with no broke.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like, Arjun comes in last minute. It's like, "Oh no, she's so forgetful. She asked me to frame it nicely," and like irons it out. But you're like, why? Is no one gonna acknowledge the fact that like this was just said, and it's like, okay, I guess, I don't know, but whatever.
There would be no movie if they
Right? If it
explained
ended
it,
logically, it'd end there, okay, and then the movie would be over because she'd be like, "I'm not marrying him because he's an asshole," but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they go out. It's a club scene. Okay, they're at the club, and Rajiv is smoking and drinking and dancing like another idiot again. And she's uncomfortable, and she's like, "Oh, why is he smoking? You lied to me." And Arjun's like, "No, he only smokes at this club because everyone smokes." And then you're like, "Arjun, why you keep lying to her?" Or whatever. And then there's this game that everyone's playing called Made in Heaven, and they have to like guess a number and to see if they're like made in heaven. And she asked Rajiv to play, but he's hanging with Kelly.
You made a girlfriend, Kelly.
She's my friend. No, he says she's my friend, Kelly, and that's it. And so he's like, I don't want to play this child's game. Play with Arjun. So she goes, and they win, and they're made in heaven couple. Ooh, of course. And then Rajiv all of a sudden is making a scene, and he's like a drunk idiot, and he's like, "Oh, you won't give me another drink." Uh, that's it. Then he gets like dragged. Oh yeah, he gets dragged out by Arjun, and then someone in the club is like, "Oh, this happens every time." He gets a drunk idiot, and Arjun drags him out, and
Yep.
yeah, and so she's like, "Oh,"
Damn, the onions are being peeled.
and then
Ooh.
you can start to tell that she's starting to like Arjun. You know, like she wants him around all the time. Then Ganga's cleaning out Rajiv's stuff, his room and stuff, to like move herself in, and she finds pictures. Okay, pictures of Rajiv with Kelly.
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 And I have a couple notes here. I took some notes on this part. First, who the F took these pictures? Because they're not selfies. These are posed pictures of the two of them, okay? Also, why are they so terribly posed? They're in the most uncomfortably stretched positions. Like, he's like, his whole body is like laid across. And she has one shoulder down of her dress, and he's shirtless on a boat. So, I don't know.
What?
And then Neetu, the stupid aunt, she's like, "Don't cry. They're not pointing tears."
Oh yeah, because she starts crying when she sees the pictures. She's like, Auntie, Kelly, Rajiv ki girlfriend thi.
And she's like, "Yes,
And
Amrika mein to." She's like, "Everyone has girlfriends. You're lucky he chose you."
yeah, and then she's crying, so that's when she goes, "Don't cry. There's no
Damn.
point to your tears."
Right. And then she's like, "This is America. You know, this is what happens in America." And I'm kind of want to be like, this is when I get pissed. I'm like, you're making Americans out to be like drunk, smoking idiots who have all these relations on boats, okay? And
On boats.
and it pisses me off because it's not America. I don't know. Maybe they're really rich. Maybe this is like first class America. Maybe. But for us being American born, we're not these people. But whatever. Pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh. So then she confronts Rajiv. She's like, "Is Kelly, was she your girlfriend?" He's like, "Yes." Like, "Did you love her?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Did you want to marry her?" He's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Did you have relations with her?" And he goes, "Oh, Ganga, everyone in America has these relations. It's not a big deal." And then at that very moment, he takes a phone call, and guess who it is?
Kelly.
It's
Kelly.
Kelly.
That's exactly his line. He goes, "Kelly, it's Kelly." And I guess she's going to Australia, and he's like, she wants to meet me, so I'm going to go. What? What?
Oh my god.
Red flag number 2, I'd be like, yeah, you meet her, and then never come home. Okay? So Kelly also, she learns Hindi for him, which then it goes back to me saying before, why the hell is this American born needing his girlfriend to learn Hindi for him? What the hell?
Well, exactly.
Okay. So Ganga's pissed. Okay. She's like uber angry. And Arjun walks in at the very moment and she throws a vase at him.
Yep.
Okay. And she's like, "You lied to me. He's not that person. He's a terrible person. You're like a liar." And he's like gaslighting, which also is messed up. Okay. Arjun's like gaslighting her and he's like, "No, it's not that big of a deal. In America, this stuff happens." And I'm like, dude, you can't even. Why are you trying at this point? But whatever. And then she's like, "I don't want a love like this. I don't want like that." And he's like, "What kind of love do you want?" And then she says, "I want a love like how you love people." And he is like,
Yeah.
What do you? Can I ask? What do you mean by
'Cause
the
he's
way you
kind.
love people?
He's kind and like
Takes care
care
of
of-
people.
exactly. He puts others before
I
himself.
see.
Like a simple love.
Right.
See,
Exactly.
Right.
that's how
Not like America. And so he's like, okay, let me talk to Rajiv. He goes to Rajiv, and Rajiv basically insults him. Is like, who are you to tell me anything? Go back to your garage, little bish.
Yep.
And so he's upset, and he goes back to the garage. And okay, so his bearded friend, he is such an important character, but has no bearing on the story.
Yeah.
He's like, he has a friend in the garage who's bearded with a mullet, and he's like very like prophetic.
Yeah.
And but like, I don't know his name. I don't know who the actor is, but whatever. So anyway, he's like, "Oh, you're in love with her," and he admits it. He's like, "I guess I am, but I'm never gonna go and see her. I can't do that to to Kishori Lal, my Dev, my God." And coincidentally, though, that same day, it's his birthday, and Paul comes over, and Paul is like, "Hey, it's his birthday." Also, Paul is not consistent because Ganga's speaking to him in full Hindi, and all of a sudden he can understand everything she's saying. So I'm like, what the hell?
God damn it. God damn
Like
it,
she's like
continuity.
speaking in fast Hindi, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, blah blah blah, mujhe nahi milna hai," and he's like, "No, he doesn't." And you're like, "How do you know what the hell she's saying? You didn't even know what kursi was." The dude told you to go to hell, and you literally could not understand. So, whatever. Continuity error.
Selective hearing. Selective hearing.
And then she's like, "All right, he doesn't want to meet me on his birthday. Guess what? It's not gonna happen." She goes to the garage, and she's there, and the song plays. Oh, bloody, dee, dee. Oh, blood, da, da.
Oh, blood, da,
Oh,
da,
blood, do,
da. Oh,
do,
blood, dee,
do.
do.
We love you.
Da, 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 da.
Oh blood D, 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 oh blood da, 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 oh blood do, 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 what to do? Oh blood D, 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 oh blood da, 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 oh blood do, we love you.
Meri mehbooba. Also, is the song kind of racist? It has like reggae parts in it, and like black people that are going blah 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 blah.
Oh, it does. It does have. I forgot about that. Oh my God. You're right. It does.
Oh,
Dot, 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 dot. Yeah.
It's very odd.
Corre, mustaquero, domu te pasa remucarreno, lazar Rebecca tengo, जाने कहाँ से लो आ गई है वो.
Oh bloody, D, D, oh blood down, 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 oh blood do, we love you.
But the actual singing part of like the playbacks of the lovely Kumar Sanu and Alka Yagnik do a fabulous job. It's everything else in the song that's weird.
Yeah, basically. So Neetu calls in the middle of the party, and she's like, "Are you coming home? Yes or no?" And she's like, "Auntie," she's like, "Yes or."
She's like,
No.
just say yes or no.
And then she goes, "Nahi," and hangs up. And everyone's like, "Oh shit." And the bearded friend like walks off watching them, and he's like, "Yeah, I did good." It's like, "What did you do?" But whatever. He's like a big deal. I don't get his like significance. He, like
What
all of
did
a
you
sudden is
do?
like a very important character. He, like,
He's
walks
like one of
in.
those side characters that basically know the deal.
Yeah, but okay. They just make him seem way bigger than he actually is. But sure. Okay, and then Rajiv calls like, "Happy birthday! Sorry I missed it," even though he purposely missed it. And he's like, "Also, I have a party, and you want to come?" And Arjun's like, "Nah,
Play
I'm
music
chill."
there.
But then he's like, yeah, well, the dude who does the music dropped out, so like you come and you play your guitar. Okay, bye. Basically invites, but as the help. And they go to the party the next day. She gets harassed by some white dude who like tries to take her to Barta. And Rajiv is dancing again like a twerp. And Arjun sees it, punches the shiz out of that dude, and Rajiv gets pissed at him. He's like, what the
And
hell?
he's like, Ganga is my wife.
Yeah. And then he walks away. Neetu understands what's going on. She tells Kishori Lal, she's like, there's a chucker going on. It's inappropriate between Arjun
Arjun.
and Ganga. And Kishori Lal's like, never say that again, and I know how to fix it. Gives Arjun a job as like the manager or like the president of some like
Dealership or something.
dealership, yeah, in some faraway city.
Vegas, remember?
Oh yeah, Vegas. He's like, yeah, you go there, and the wedding's this date. Come back then that morning. Gets Arjun out of the picture. Okay. And then while this is happening, Ganga calls home, and she's like, "Papa, huh?" And they're like, "Khush hai, khush hai." And she's like, "Huh, main khush hu," but she's crying. And the Maji knows what's up, and then Kishori Lal also low key knows what's up and comes in and is like scolds her because she left her ring by the swimming pool. And he's like, you're not like taking care of it, like where's your brain at? And she's like quiet, she doesn't know what to say. And then Rajiv comes in and he's like, apologize to her. I don't know why he asked Rajiv to apologize to her, but like,
He thought they were fighting and Rajiv should say so. You know what I'm saying?
right. So then Rajiv's like, I'm sorry, Ganga, but you're like, whatever, you're full of shit. And they go to Vegas, and this is the road trip song, Arjun's road trip song, and it goes, Ye dil,
Dil.
Divana, Divana, hey, ye dil.
दीवाने को
Oh.
मुझको भी
It's a really good song. It has some good songs in it.
That's what happens in the song.
Yeah, I really like the song.
दीवाने ने मुझको भी कर डाला दीवाना मैंने उसके शहर को छोड़ा उसकी गली में दिल को तोड़ा फिर भी सीने में धड़कता है ये दिल मैंने दिल से उसे निकाला जो ना करना था कर डाला फिर भी याद उसी को करता है ये दिल
He even gives him his car, Kishori Lal. He's like, you like this car? Take it. Go. Just get out of here. All right. And then they're in Vegas, and it's like, you see in this song, that she's not happy. They're partying, but she's not into it. She's really, like, unhappy. And then the scene comes. The worst scene in the movie.
Rajiv's a little drunk and tries to basically rape her.
He tries to rape her, okay? He berates her and like calls her like a bloody Indian idiot or fool and is like, you Indians are all hypocrites, like you want like 10 children, yet you God forbid you do anything before marriage, then after marriage it's a free
I mean,
for
he
all.
kind of makes a point, but anyways.
No, he makes a point, but then to proceed to try and rape someone pretty much defeats
Is
the point.
incorrect. Yes.
Right. And like he says all of this and then she slaps him in the face. Right? And she's like, how dare you, blah, blah. And then he slaps her in the face. And she goes berserk. She's like, you hit me? Are you kidding me? You hit me? And she like proceeds to try and beat the crap out of him. But he overtakes her.
And then tries to rape her.
Right. And then it's important that I must say, he bites her. It comes back, okay? And she fights him back. She fights back, okay? And she hits him with an alcohol bottle, like a gin bottle or something, on the top of the head. He passes out. And then she's like about to stab him because she picks up a knife because she's scared. And the phone rings. And she leaves. She runs. She leaves. Okay? She runs away, hitches a ride to like the train station, okay? Everyone is freaking out. They're like, where is she? And Amrish Puri does his like iconic yelling. He's like, Ganga! And Rajiv lies and is like, oh, I woke up and she was gone. She ran away. A little piece of shit. And Arjun finds out. And Arjun goes and like tries to find her. Okay. So they find each other in the train station, and he's like, let's go home. And she's like, no, refuses. And he's like, why? What happened? She shows him the bite mark. Okay. You don't see it though. She just shows it to him, and he's like, who did that to you? And she's like, Rajiv. Okay. He's like, okay, well, let's go.
Who bites? Like, why bite?
No.
Is that, like, what are you, 3 years old? They gotta
Because
bite
he
someone? Like,
obviously has a lot to compensate for, okay?
He's a dick.
He
oh,
has no dick. That's
oh,
So-
spitting fire.
Rajiv gets intel that Arjun took Ganga.
Ganga back to India.
Yes. And tells Kishori Lal and says that they're doing a chakkar, that they have an affair going on. And he warps it so that they look like they're doing that. Okay? And so they get home, and they don't know at home in India yet. They just know she comes back home. And
No, Kishori Lal calls Suraj in the meantime.
No. You're right. But at first, Suraj is going to call, and the mom is like, hell no. They effed us over. We're not going to call them. And he calls secretly in the middle of the night. And this is why Suraj is the worst character in the whole film. Because he's so thirsty for this rich family. It's like, your daughter is coming back. There's obviously a reason, okay? So he finds out from Kishori Lal, thinks they're having an affair, goes into Arjun's room with a damn knife, like a sword. A full-on sword. And tries to murder him. Okay? And then Ganga comes in, and she's like, no, he helped me, and he slaps Ganga, and he's like, you don't know, what the hell, I'm gonna kill you. I wish you had come back home dead instead. And he's about to, like, stab her with the sword, and Arjun, it's iconic, he holds the sword with his
In
hand.
his hand.
And he brings it all the way to the top, and his blood coats the sword. And he's like, this sword will be covered in my blood before it touches Ganga. And he leaves. He goes to the train station. Meanwhile,
With his bloody hands.
Meanwhile, right.
He has like cut up
And then
hands.
Suraj-
Alright, anyway.
locks Ganga up in like this like room, and it's like die, basically, like starve to death. And then this is the best part of the movie where Arjun's like, we're going to India. And Paul is like, what? India to fight? He's like, yes, Paul. He's like, but that's not right. And he's like, we are good Indians. And then Rajiv is like, but I'm bad, Paul. And so he's gonna go to India with his baseball bats and his cronies, and he's gonna kill some people.
Kill Arjun specifically.
And even, I mean, beat the shit out of Ganga too. Because he's like, Ganga's mine. Right. So Arjun goes to the bus station. Side note,
What
the
a
bus station is
story.
gorgeous. It's like this beautiful giant property, okay? And I don't know. I just had to say that because I'm like, I've never seen a bus station that looks like that in my life, but whatever. Then she's locked in the whatever room, and the sisters come in and they like sneak in and they're like, you should have been with Arjun the whole time, idiot. And then
She's like, we knew this from the beginning.
Duh.
I'm like, why didn't you say it from the beginning, idiots? But whatever. And then Dadi comes in and she's like, get out of here. And the Dadi sits and she's like, I also knew you should have been with Arjun. He was best. And so she like basically lets her go and she's like, go chase after him. Go get him. That's why Dadi's MVP. I said Buaji, but it's the Dadi. And so she runs after him. And then the song comes. And it's this Rando Kawali song in the middle
नहीं
of the train
होना
station.
था नहीं होना था नहीं होना था नहीं होता लेकिन हो गया हो गया है तुझे प्यार
And
हो
so
गया है तुझे प्यार
नहीं होना था अरे नहीं होना था
अरे नहीं होना था नहीं होना था नहीं होना था
अरे नहीं होना था अरे नहीं होना था
नहीं होना था नहीं होना था लेकिन हो गया
हो गया है मुझे प्यार हो गया है मुझे प्यार
during the song, she's looking for Arjun. Arjun's looking for her, I think.
No, he's not.
He's just walking around then. And then
Uh-huh.
Rajiv is like walking down with his cronies. And the second her and Arjun hug, Rajiv finds them with his gundas, his cronies, and with his baseball bats. And they fight and they beat the shit out of Arjun. And he like snaps at her to come to him, like Rajiv, and she goes to him and he hits her across the face. And you're like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden it's like silent that happens. And then all of a sudden it goes back to the Goali. And then it goes, "Nahi hornata, nahi hornata, nahi."
It goes nuts on the butt, though, pretty
I
much.
know, and they're like dancing and swirling around. It's great choreo.
And so Arjun gets pissed off because Reggie slapped her. So all of a sudden he has like the manpower of the Hulk and beats the shit out of everybody.
And Rajiv, yeah. The fake blood is great. It's like a bright red. And then Arjun picks up an axe randomly. There's like an axe lying around, and he's about to kill him. Yeah.
I had a bus
And
station.
and Ganga yells at Paul, and she's like, "Paul, why did you bring him? Why'd you bring him? Why'd you do this?" So Paul does the right thing, and he brings Kishori Lal and Suraj and the mom and everyone. And Kishori Lal goes up to Arjun and he puts him against the wall, and he's like, has a gun, and he threatens him and says, "Either you die or I die." And he's like, "I trusted you and gave you everything. I just want the truth." But Arjun's like, "You don't really want the truth, because if you wanted to hear the truth, you wouldn't have brought a gun. You can't handle the truth." Literally says that, okay? And then he walks away. Arjun's like, "Bye," leaves. I don't know how he's able to leave, but he does. And then Ganga speaks the truth. And Ganga's like, "You want to know what happened? You want to know what your son did? You want to know why I left?" Then she shows the bite mark, and you finally see it. And it's like this intense bruising bite mark. And you're like disgusted. And you're like, oh shit, that's what he did to her. And then everyone's silent. And then the Dadi comes in. Randomly, she comes in, walks in. And she's badass. And she starts yelling at everyone. And Suraj is like, "Ma, chup ho jao." And she's like, "Excuse me? You better shut your mouth, boy." And he's like, "Is this what you wanted, Kishori Lal? You wanted to bring this. Is this what you wanted for her? Blah, blah, blah." Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then Kishori Lal all of a sudden like understands, and he's like, "I am going to bring her back." And everyone's like, "What?" He's like, "She will be my daughter-in-law no matter what." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Because she'll marry Arjun." And the Rajiv is on the ground like little bitch, and he's like, "What, Dad?" And he's like, "Don't call me
He's like,
Dad."
"But I'm your son." He's like, "Go back to America."
Yeah, that's basically it. He's like, "But I'm your son." I don't know. And he's like, "Yeah, go back to America." I'm like, "You're also going back to America, but whatever." And then they're like trying to find Arjun, like they can't find him.
Well, actually,
She's trying to find him, and then he's in the kit though. And I never realized. I thought those were random kids he was playing with in the kit.
No, that's Sim Sim Pola
Yes,
Pola.
that's Sim Sim Pola Pola. And I'm like, why did he go back to Sim Sim Pola Pola after all of that? But whatever. And then it's like the beginning of the movie all over again. She's running through the fields, and she's like, "Papa, Papa." And personally, I'd hate my dad after all of that. I'd be like, "You're terrible. You're the worst." But whatever.
But she still loves him, so she hugs him, and then Arjun hugs Amrish Puri, and they look at each other through the hugging, and that's the end of the movie. So basically, they get married.
And then like the end montage with the credits is like showing their happy married life. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the movie.
interesting. Whew. What a movie right there. What a movie. Like I said, I haven't seen the movie, so it's like re-listening to all of that. It's like, holy crap, I clearly need to see this again.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a long movie. It's a 3-hour film.
I missed out on something.
So I'm surprised I did this in an hour.
Oof, maron. Yeah, I mean, look, we did this. Yeah, it's on time basically.
Yeah.
Amna. You
And I was
good.
pretty in detail. I think Samrah knows this.
Yes, she was.
She's like, "Yeah, I tapped out 40 minutes ago."
I didn't tap out.
She tapped out when she tapped out when her tea kettle was boiling.
Like, so if you have any recommendations,
Sim Sim Pola Pola.
Name of the episode, Sim Sim Pola Pola.
Sim Sim Pola Pola. I love it.
If you have any recommendations for the
love it,
next
though. It was
Bollywood
good.
breakdown, let us know. If not,
Bollywood. Bollywood.
Thank you, Amna. I
Bollywood
should say thank you, Amna,
Breakdown.
for that. Thank you for that
yeah,
synopsis.
you're not gonna get that off of Wikipedia, people.
Bollywood.
No, not at all.
Bollywood.
Wikipedia's not going to talk about pole
Polas.
poles and talks about
And there are no point in
and pol.
tears.
Some iconic lines.
And dad.
I said
Liter-
that.
Dad.
Literally, like
I
I'm on the
forgot
wiki.
celebrity scene.
Like I'm on the wiki.
Oh well. It is what it is.
Anyway, well, side note, those rich people that were like, dad is bad, they want Ganga's hand in marriage in the beginning before she gets engaged to Rajiv. And they're like, oh, we'll challenge you to a kabaddi fight. And then they lose because Arjun wins the kabaddi fight. Yeah.
Kabaddi,
I mean,
kabaddi.
that's like a 20-minute scene, and I
Kabaddi,
just
kabaddi.
totally just skimmed over that.
Because it wasn't worth it.
It was literally
I mean,
it was
it's not-
unnecessary storytelling.
Was it worth-
If they cut that whole storyline out, the movie would have been maybe 2
It
hours.
would have saved a
long.
half hour.
I don't understand why Amir Chand and Gharib Chand needed to be in this movie at all,
Amir Chand and Gharib Chand.
but sure, I guess they needed something.
Oh man.
On that note,
I don't, yeah. I was gonna say, do you think they're doing that just so they can stretch the movie out because they didn't have enough material, or do you think they were just like, you know, like why add that after you already have a 3-hour movie?
I watched this
you know,
movie
like
with Anil Kapoor and Aishwarya. I forgot the name of it, and it's about like it's ridiculous. And half the movie was about the neighbors, and I'm like, why the hell am I watching a movie about the neighbors? It was like the worst film ever. And I'm like, if you just cut this out, the movie would have been about, I don't know, a half hour long. So anyway, they add rando stuff in old Bollywood movies. It's really the worst, but you just skim over it. I fast forward.
yeah.
Anyway, on that note, follow us at Bob and Friends on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at www.bobandfriends. Oh no, I messed up. Or Facebook us, or follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/bobandfriends. Email us at bobandfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Rate us on iTunes and Google Play or Spotify at 4 to 5 stars.
only 5s.
Only 4s or 5s. If you want a 4, fine, but like, please don't. And yeah. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think
All
that's
right.
it.
Okay.
Is that it? Is that it?
Okay,
Is that
bye.
it?
She has to go attend to her child.
Okay, bye.